everyone, welcome to the weekly RFOX AMA. It's Lenny Clifford here with Josef Andre, the Vault Product Manager, and we're going to do a walk and talk in VR through the latest update of the RFOX Vault. It's going to be pretty exciting. It's the first time a lot of the community will have seen the latest developments. We're in Q5 at the moment, and we're going to take a look at Arkamoto as well. Joe, how are you going, mate?
Yeah, good. Cheers, mate.
Good to have you on this week, and not many people have met you on the YouTube AMA. Actually, this is your first time on, so how about starting just with a quick intro about who you are, where you're from, and what your background is?
Yeah, sure. So I started with RFOX pretty early. I was the first employee basically, and I started as a technical project manager, and then worked my way through to product owner. And for the last couple of months, I'm now product manager for the Vault. My background is basically engineering, so I studied mechatronics and robotics, and that kind of helps me in my job as well because I understand the tech a bit better, I know how to program, and it just makes it easy to communicate with all the different teams, basically.
All right, thanks, Joe. Now, before we take a walk, just notice these test avatars have their feet missing, and you also have your bird sound switched on. Obviously, we're really looking forward to having our own 3D citizen avatars coming soon. But anyhow, shall we check out some of the new developments in here, Joe?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go to Arkamoto.
And Joe, before you started at RFOX, what were you doing? What's your background?
So my background is, as I said, mechatronics and robotics engineering. And yeah, it's a pretty broad field basically of engineering. It covers a lot of different areas, and that was my focus before that. But yeah, then I joined basically RFOX right after finishing my studies.
Okay, all right. Where are we now? What's this?
So that's basically our first version of the teleportation system between the quarters. So as you can see, Kalinova and Arkamoto, if we stand in those areas for 3 seconds, we get transported to the other quarter. And eventually we will have like a more immersive train system, but that is just like an MVP to show that functionality.
Okay. And this area out here, is this Q5?
Yeah, that's Q5, exactly. Basically the middle part of the vault, where you will see the other quarters around eventually. All
right, shall we get in there?
Yeah, sure. Let's go to Arkamoto.
All right. And this is the first look for a lot of people inside Arkamoto.
Yeah, it's pretty massive, isn't it?
It's huge, and it is just This is it's incredible. I love it.
It's a completely different feeling, also that it's much darker, with all those lights. So yeah, that's the first version. The first MVP basically. We'll get a lot more polish obviously, but yeah, for first step, I think it looks awesome.
So what are you most excited about for the RFOX Vault?
So honestly, I think I'm just excited in general about working in a cutting edge environment, like with that kind of technology. I think it has incredible opportunities. But specifically for the vaults, I think once we get the machine running, basically, once we get the creators in and have a strong platform where people can actually build stuff on it, and we see the first experiences from people, and artists and developers can actually build their business and make good revenue. That's basically what I'm most excited about, when we really see that turning on and getting those experiences and games and all kinds of things into the vault. Yeah.
Should we take a quick tour through here and you can keep talking?
Yeah, sure.
So Joe, like you mentioned, you're excited about when creators are able to come in here and build their businesses on it. What are the steps that need to be taken to get that happening?
So that was a jump. So the main step is just to basically get the creator tools to a state where it doesn't need much hand-holding anymore. So right now we have an integration that is coming soon, which is the Fear game. And that was kind of a more like a custom build, which was already using some of our tools, but it's not 100% like autonomous basically. So once we have those tools that allow people really to build the stuff themselves without much of our assistance, I think that's the point where we will see a lot of innovation, a lot of more projects basically joining.
Sure. Okay. Let's keep walking. This is my first time in here, so I need you to show me around. It's just incredible for me. It's so exciting coming into these new builds.
Yeah, for sure. And you can imagine having, you know, a lot of people here standing on those areas, then some kind of event here in the bottom.
And how does it go from conception to launch?
Yeah, so usually it starts with a concept, with an idea. This could either come internally from our team, or it can come from our customers, or sometimes even from the competition, something that we want to implement that we see that works. And from there, we basically, you know, document it. We kind of scope it in a sense and create a proof of concept. So it's basically kind of a discovery phase where we create a prototype and see how it works and how people, you know, like that feature or like that new development. And once we collect more and more data and we basically back the experiment with more data that it actually has a product market fit, that's when we go into a more delivery phase, like in the launch basically. And while we're doing that, we're obviously collecting all the data. We are setting up product analytics and make sure we understand what's happening, what people are doing basically. And once we launch the product, afterwards we have an optimization stage and potentially new launches for the product. In our case, for example, for CitiXens, we had the launch, but it doesn't really end there. Obviously, we keep adding on more features, we keep adding on more value to that product, and basically, yeah, it's kind of for a lot of products, it's like not really ending. It's just a continuous refinement of the product.
Sure. We should definitely chat more about CitiXens, and we'll go and take a look in shop 4 of Calanova in a tick. I think that's where we can talk about it. Should we continue along here?
Yeah, for sure. You want to jump down or just?
You lead the way.
Yeah, sure. We can check. We jump down here. We have a lot of different levels here. You see, like, there's one level here, then we have one underground, we have one more on the top. So, it's a lot of areas basically that we can explore. It will be extremely interesting once we have, for example, hoverboards to kind of fly around all those areas. But yeah, right now when we walk.
So did you say hoverboards?
Yeah, exactly. Once they're here.
And so RFOX is custom designing those hoverboards, or how is that gonna?
Yeah, so I mean, I can't say that much yet about that, but it's still kind of, one of our things that we want to do. Our plan is also to always get the creator economy in. So we would basically design the first examples of hoverboards and kind of show what's possible and how you can use them. And then we would let other people come in and actually build their own versions. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what stage of the build are we at in Arkamoto?
So yeah, that's MVP stage. You can see it basically works. We can walk around. We can actually go into shops, but it's far from polished. So it's basically one of the first stages where it works, but the next stages will be more polishing, and then we have the alpha and then the beta, where we also launch it publicly. But usually our plan is always to launch as soon as possible to collect more data from our users to see what they like, what they don't like. So we're much more informed in what direction we should push the product.
Yep. Okay. What's up this end here?
That's a shop. That's one of the shops. We can walk there. Yeah, so you can see those shops are inspired by PCs. It looks a bit like a PC, like a custom built PC. And a lot of them have kind of that gaming vibe with them.
Very cool design. Love it.
Let's go to Kalinova and let's check out the new shop.
Just really exciting being in here, seeing the progress that's been made. What are your thoughts on where the Vault might be in around 5 years' time from now?
Yeah, so I think it's always really hard to, say exactly where we are in 5 years, especially with disruptive technology like that. And also, sometimes you don't exactly know what people want yet. It's always a process of collecting that feedback, collecting, that customer information, and then building what people like to see in the vaults. But in general, I think, personally, I see that it will be an extremely vibrant space. We'll have a lot of different experiences in the vaults, a lot of different creators, not just, artists, but also, developers creating plugins, for example, for shops, and different kinds of experiences that can be done here. Also, I think AR is going to be an extremely interesting one as well. Once we have, more portable hardware and AR glasses, I think there are extremely interesting use cases that we will integrate eventually. So yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing experience.
For sure. Wow, the views are amazing up here.
Yeah, it's pretty brilliant. And a lot of areas that we can explore.
Favorite quarter.
For sure. All right, let's jump back to Q5 and then we go to Kalinova.
Okay.
All right, we're back. So now we need to head back up, right?
Yeah, we gotta head up and go to Kalinova.
All right, in Kalinova now. Joe, what are you looking at to give the Vault the edge over our competitors?
Yeah, I think a couple of things that we have. First of all, I think our ecosystem is really strong. We have a strong network effect through the different products that we have. So it's always easier to copy one part of the ecosystem, but the whole thing is very difficult. So our goal is to really have all those different products work in synergy between each other. That you have, for example, RFOX Finance with NFTs in combination with the Vault in combination, RFOX TV. If you offer products that are interconnected like this, it's much harder to copy it, So I think that's one of the main things. But yeah, in general, that we're starting with VR, I think there are a few companies right now in the Web3 space that have a really strong VR experience. So that's also something that we want to differentiate ourselves from the others. And yeah, in general, just the, really strong focus on customers. It's something we are working on. We're also, getting better and better at to really understand what the needs are. Those kinds of things are, I think, what helps us, have a competitive edge.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome, isn't it?
Look at that.
It's, yeah, we basically promised to provide something different, something more impressive, and I think that's exactly what we did here. And it basically just shows, how far shop interiors can go. And I mean, that's also not the limit yet. Obviously, it could be a much bigger space as well. But just to compare that with the other interiors, I think it's a big step. And obviously, you can see the avatars here, the statues. I think that's also what people have been waiting for.
For sure, being able to see them in here really changes things, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's much more tangible now, and yeah, do you want to check them out?
Yeah, let's do that. Of course, they'll be at a different size when they're released, but it still gives us a really good idea about how they'll look. That's just awesome.
Exactly, that's the Galaxy one that everyone knows. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, can you walk us through a product rollout life cycle for the RFOX Vault and in particular the Citizens 3D avatar NFTs?
Yeah, sure. So, as I said before, like it starts, concept, and you have discovery, delivery, and optimization. In our case, it started with an idea from Benny. He wanted to, create avatars of our own identity, our own, avatar collection inside the vault that you can use that to, make it more engaging, get some interesting dimensions in from the lore as well. And then, we just discussed the idea first and, drew up a concept. And then you basically document that and you have discussions with the art, tech, and marketing team to basically figure out a feasible roadmap and a timeline for that project. And once that was all created, we basically, execute on the roadmap. And step by step, we did a lot of testing and up to the launch, basically. And then we had the launch. And after the launch, as I said before, it's really important to still keep the product analytics up and keep improving the product. And in our case, it's just the first step, basically. That launch, we will have them revealed at the end of the year, and then they will be inside the vault, and we will have staking and all kinds of things, which are extremely interesting. So yeah, that's how it usually works.
All right. So now that the citizens are in the vault, what's the next step to get them working?
Yeah, so what you can see here is just 3D files, basically, the 3D files of the avatars. So the next step is the rigging. It's basically to give them a skeleton so they can move around, so they have, basically bones like we have and joints. And then you apply an IK system to it, like it's an inverse kinematic system to those avatars so they can actually move around. And basically, if you put your hand at one stage, your body and the joints basically know where they need to go. So that's that IK system that provides that functionality. And once that's there, basically we integrate them, and sometimes there needs to be some optimization so it works with a lot of users in the same locations. But yeah, that's basically it. And in our case, our users will also have access to the high poly files, so they will be able to download the avatars in the highest resolutions. But inside the vault, it will always be a little bit lower just for performance reasons.
All right, Joe.
Should we go downstairs? Check out Kalinova and then the shroom room.
Let's do it, and then we'll finish it up from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of Arkamoto a bit in this room.
Yeah, it has a bit of that vibe, doesn't it? Especially with those lights on the floor.
Is there going to be much more development to this shop template, or is this kind of a final product?
Yeah, so that's close to final right now. What will be added is, you will have a bit more customization. For example, those walls, you will be able to customize more. And, all the upgrades that we have for shops will be integrated in those, templates as well. So there will be more added along the way, but just from a visual point of view, it's already close to final, I would say.
And just at the back here, so if you're a shop owner and you're looking to get something customized like this, what's the process to getting that to making that happen?
Yeah, so what we're working on is basically an import mechanic, so you can import your environments, and it will basically be a template that you can use. You can download it from our website. Once that's live, you can modify it. You can add 3D models and, basically some animations in those experiences. And then you will upload it again to us and we will integrate into the Vault. So that's the process. After some QA and after, checking that the poly counts work with our build and all those things, it can be loaded into the experience and then you will have it in your shop.
All right. Yeah, that seems like a great option to explore. It just adds another element to the shop, doesn't it? Obviously, this is
it's something
totally.
something we realized that like just normal templates to initially we thought that's you already have a couple of combinations, but it's just not enough for most creators and for most brands. They want their own completely unique experience, and that's why we focused on this part. While it takes a little bit longer to implement, it will have much more value for the overall product. So yeah, that was our decision a couple of months ago to focus on this.
All right, Joe, let's wrap it up. Thanks so much for showing us around the updated RFOX Vault. It's been awesome hearing your perspective as the Vault Product Manager. Hope everyone enjoyed that. Have a great week, everyone. Cheers.
Yeah, no worries. It was fun working with you. Bye-bye.